This is Dr. Edwin. In this video, I am going to discuss about bacterial sialadenitis of parotid gland, an interesting case report. A 62-year-old female patient is being referred to me with a complaint of swelling in her right side of the face since a week. On inspection, a diffuse swelling is noted on the right side of her face involving the ramus and angle of mandible, and it extends beyond the earlobe posteriorly. The skin over the swelling appears erythematous and it is warm, firm and tender on palpation. On intraoral examination, no painful or mobile tooth was noted on the right side of the jaw. There was a mild calculus deposits which can be seen, and there was cervical abrasion in those regions. On soft tissue examination, we could see an opening of right Stenson's duct which has been edematous and erythematous, and on palpation it was tender. So we decided to examine the salivary gland which is present on the right side of the face. On examination of the right parotid gland, we could feel the gland is tender and it has been enlarged. So we started milking the gland to find the secretion of saliva, whether it is normal or whether it has a bloody discharge or any pus content is being excreted. So once we started milking the gland to evaluate the salivary secretion, we got an enormous amount of thick pus discharge coming out of the Stenson's duct. As we keep emptying the pus from the gland, patient started feeling relieved from pain. So we collected the pus and sent it to the lab for culture and sensitivity. Meanwhile, we took an OPG to rule out any calcification within the duct or gland, and also to find out whether there is any source of odontogenic infection in the region of interest. As you can see, the OPG is very clear and it doesn't reveal any calcification or destruction in the parotid region. And it also doesn't reveal any odontogenic infection which is related to that swelling. This is the most important step to be ruling out whenever you see an extraoral swelling, because most of the time the extraoral swelling would have been caused by an odontogenic infections, that means from a deep caries or from a periodontal issues. But in our case, since we have taken a radiograph and we did a thorough investigation and clinical examination, we could find out that there is no possibility of odontogenic infection in the region of interest. So the main pathology would have been arising from the parotid gland and the ductal architecture. The swab report clearly tells that the microorganism is being sensitive for penicillin, ampicillin, amoxicillin, cephalexin, gentamicin, tetracycline and ciprofloxacin. And it shows resistance to clotrimazole, erythromycin and clindamycin. So from this we clearly understand what drug has to be prescribed to eradicate this microorganism. So based on the patient's history and thorough clinical examination, and by ruling out the odontogenic infection by taking an OPG, we can come to a conclusion that this is a case of an acute bacterial sialadenitis affecting the right parotid gland. After confirming the conditions, we prescribe the patients a set of antibiotics like amoxicillin and potassium clavulanic combination drugs, BD for 5 days, along with Metrogel for 5 days, and we have also given a painkiller like aceclofenac, paracetamol and serratiopeptidase again for 5 days BD along with pantoprazole. So along with all these medications, we have also advised the patient to consume plenty of water and keep massaging the gland gently with regular interval. This instruction is very important, as whenever patient consumes plenty of water and massage the gland, she can always get rid of the pus which is being present within the parotid gland, which helps to remove the infection physiologically. And by doing like that, she also stimulates the normal secretion of saliva. So we ask the patient to keep doing like this and consume the antibiotics for 5 days and report to us in next week. And we also advise the patient to go for ultrasonogram of right parotid gland if swelling persists after 7 days. This is very important mainly because if the infection persists for a longer period of time, it can lead to fibrosis of the gland, and it can even calcify within the gland, and it will be very difficult to remove it. So always have a higher investigation as a backup whenever you are following up the case. After 7 days, patient reported back for review, and she doesn't have any pain during that time. On examination, we could see the swelling has been completely subsided, and the erythematous area which is present on the parotid gland region is also completely resolved. And on intraoral examination, as you can see, the right parotid ductal opening appears to be very clear, and the surrounding edema and erythematous area has been completely resolved. And on milking of the gland, it secretes a clear saliva without any pus or bloody discharge. This clearly indicates that the infection has been completely eradicated and patient has been completely asymptomatic. And after confirming this also, you should always instruct the patient to continue taking a plenty of water at regular intervals to retain the normal functioning of the salivary glands. And also do a proper oral hygiene and remove all the debris which has been present on the tooth surfaces. This is again to prevent the retrograde infection through the ductal papilla. When you're dealing with such cases, there are few points which you have to keep in mind. The first thing is rule out whether it is an odontogenic infection or it is a non-odontogenic infections. And always advise the patient not to use any hot or cold fomentation unless until it is recommended. Always prescribe antibiotics based on culture and sensitivity. Don't give any broad spectrum antibiotics blindly without checking it. Ask the patient to consume plenty of water and milk the gland whenever possible by doing a gentle massage. By doing so, they can maintain the function of the gland and get rid of the pus which is being collected within the gland. Do a thorough clinical examination, which is the foremost important step in diagnosing a situation like this. And always go for radiographic evaluation starting with your OPG to rule out any calcification or any odontogenic infection related to that region. Always follow up and give higher investigation for that patient like ultrasonogram or CT if it is recommended to find out whether there is any other underlying pathology within the gland which mimics like a bacterial silidinitis. Thank you. I hope you like this video and it is informative. Kindly like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel.